Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. In this video, I'm going to be planting these 100 daffodil bulbs. I had gotten these from Color Blends earlier in the season. Usually the best selection of daffodils and bulbs in general are in the late summer and early fall, and you get them then, and typically I'll hold them and plant them later in the fall in my area. There may still be some available, and daffodils are probably the most forgiving of all bulbs. I'll talk more about this during this video. This variety right here is called a gritty southern blend, and it's more adaptable to southern areas. It's one issue with daffodils. They don't really grow into South Florida and along the Gulf Coast typically. But almost everybody else that's watching this video can definitely grow daffodils. There are a lot of different ways to go about putting them into the ground. I'll get you a closer look at how many this actually is. These are really nice size bulbs here in this bag. Notice it's in this mesh bag. Anytime you acquire your bulbs, they'll typically come in some sort of mesh bag like this. Make sure that's just how you keep them while you store them. I actually had these in my garage on a shelf, and it kept them in this mesh bag. Don't allow them to go into any kind of plastic bag, because there's moisture inside that bulb, which can end up sweating on the inside of that bag and cause some rot. But storing them this way is usually works out really well. I like to get mine into the ground about 2 weeks before we get some severe cold. And in my area, we don't get a lot of severe cold, and that usually happens between mid-December and about mid-January is the worst of our cold. So in my area, I'm usually aiming for the end of November. It's about a week into December when I'm putting these in at this point, but we've had a really, really mild fall. And I'll tell you, when we're talking about daffodils being the most forgiving of the bulbs, I've forgotten I've had these before and gone all the way into February, had them sitting on a shelf, and some of them have gone bad, and I just, would plant the whole bag, see what comes up, and, any that hadn't gone bad came up, even planted that late. So again, another nice thing about daffodils. Another nice thing is they're also rodent and deer resistant, which can be an issue with bulbs. You can have squirrels digging your bulbs up. You can have, moles or voles, causing you problems. And then, of course, deer are an issue for lots and lots of people, and these are resistant to those. In terms of getting them into the ground, I like to plant bulbs in big groupings. I don't really like the, plant 2 here, plant 3 there approach that I see, and I've done it. I've done that, and then I look at it and go, it looks better if you have some number of them together coming up in a big swath of some kind. This space right here is where I'm choosing to put these 100. This particular variety, they get planted about 4 inches apart. It'll be on the tag. Daffodils are going to be between 3 and 6 inches apart. If you're going to naturalize them in that space and leave them there forever, which most people are, daffodils are perennials, so that they come back every year. You can go a little bit wider than that, and so it'll take just a few more years for them to create new little bulblets on the side. Eventually, daffodils have to be dug up and divided, and you can give them to your neighbors or plant them in other areas in your yard or whatever. What'll happen is, this first year I put them in the ground, there'll be some nice flowers on them, that they won't be the biggest show they're ever going to have. The second year, there'll be a pretty big show, and then the third year, really big show, and then sometime around the 4th or 5th year, typically, my experience is they get kind of overgrown and too thick, and they'll start to slow down. When that year happens, that fall, you need to remember where they are. It's one of those tricky things. These things come up in my area in February and March and bloom. Then the foliage stays on them for several weeks while they recoup their energy back down into the bulb, and then they're gone. And the best time to dig them up in the fall is in the fall to split them and replant them. So marking them in some way, if you think it's a year that you're going to end up dividing them, is a good idea before they go completely dormant, because then you're just digging random holes all over the yard looking for your bulbs. But anyway, the different approaches you can use for this, I'm probably going to just use a shovel and excavate this entire area, place my bulbs in there, and then put the soil back on top. That's the strategy I use when I'm planting this many bulbs, and I'm planting them all in one space. If the soil is too difficult for me to just put the shovel into the ground, I've got this electric tiller which I can plug in and it'll get me down 2 or 3 inches. It'll make the first, the beginning of this work much easier. I need to go down about 5 inches. These bulbs are probably, let's get one out. I say these bulbs are 2 inches tall, maybe, something like that. Here's one. Let's let it focus. Let's let it focus on that real quick. But that's the pointy end goes up. Really important part with bulbs. The roots come out of the bottom of the flat part of the bulb. I need, in my area, I probably need about at least 2 inches of soil on the top of them. If you're in colder areas, if you're planting these in Michigan or someplace where the ground really freezes solid, you probably want more like 3 inches of soil on the top of them. So I'm going to go down, about 5 inches, and then I'm just going to set them into there, 4.5, 5 inches. I'm going to just set them with the spacing that I want, which is about 4 inches apart, and then I'm just going to pop the soil back over them and then put my pine straw back over the top. I'm going to rake this pine straw out first. Another option is, if you're just planting a few bulbs, is to use this. This is a specialized drill bit on my drill here. This is a special tool for, this little auger bit for planting bulbs. I've actually had this one. I started my landscape business in 96. So this one is 22 years old. It still works great. It has a bit of a kick to it. If you have any rock in your soil or any roots in your soil and you start using this thing, sometimes it can grab and it can just about rip your wrist off. I mean, it can really hurt you. And I'm speaking from experience. I have had this thing just about snap my wrist off because it just comes to a dead stop, while you're still holding the drill. So, keep that in mind. This is more physically demanding than you might think. Other than just, holding a drill. If you have sandy soil or you have, well draining soil that's easy to dig in, this will make super, super quick work of it. I have all of the above over here. I have roots, I have rocks, and I have clay soil, unfortunately, and that's not the best thing for bulbs, although I will say daffodils, again, are more forgiving than others, but no bulbs like wet feet or wet soil, and this clay can definitely hold some more moisture in place than I'd like. So after I get this excavated, I'm going to put a little bit of pine bark on my pile of soil, and that way when I put it back in, it'll mix in and create a little bit better draining soil. It's also sloped a little bit here. If you have a yard that doesn't drain all that well, find a sloped space for your bulbs, and that will be helpful as well. But let me kick some of this pine straw back here, and I'll show you. This is, the auger in this drill here. But see, there's a root right there, and it grabbed it and just and took my hand sideways. But there it is. I went down 5 inches. I can just drop that bulb in there, kick my soil back on top of it. Super, super easy. Again, really easy if you have better soil conditions than I do. The soil conditions I have over here with all these roots from these trees I took down not that long ago, this thing will try to snap my wrist off. So I'm going to avoid using it for this particular project. And the first thing I'm going to do, like I say, is rake out the pine straw, and then I'm going to excavate the space. So I've dug my space out about approximately 5 inches deep. That'll put 2.5 inches or so of soil on top of them. And then I have the mulch as well, which is plenty adequate in zone 7 where I'm at. Like I say, you may go a little deeper or mulch a little thicker if you were in further north where the ground freezes much deeper. I've got my pine bark soil conditioner here. I don't know how well you can see this orange right here, but there's a big pocket of pretty nasty clay there. And I pulled a lot of it out. But this pine bark will get mixed in with this clay. Most of you watching probably don't need to do this step. Just if you have clay, I would do this step just to ensure that you get proper drainage. The two things, I've said daffodils are probably the most forgiving of the bulbs, but the two things that will prevent you from having success with daffodils are, one, drainage, which I'm fixing right here, and number two, sunlight. You got to have 6 hours or more of direct sunlight, and the most important sunlight of the year. You need to know that they're going to come up super early. This is a pretty early variety here in my area. They can come up in February. Maybe if you're further north, they're going to be March, or maybe even into April if you were in Canada or something like that. But here they're going to start coming up in February. They're going to bloom probably right around the 1st of March, and then after they finish blooming, we can't cut the foliage back. The foliage collects sunlight, makes food for itself, and then returns that to the bulb and fades later. You need to leave that foliage in place on the plants, and that's the period of time that it needs full sun. You need to know that that period in March, April, May, when the foliage is on these things, that they're going to be in lots and lots of sunlight so that they can replenish the energy that they used to flower. Daffodils make great cut flowers. You need to put them in their own vases. They actually secrete a chemical which fades other flowers, which is kind of an interesting piece of evolution that daffodils use to attack other flowering things. It's kind of neat. I dug a square here, but I'm not going to put them in a square. I'm going to lay them out, like I say, about 4 inches apart. If you're putting them 4 to 6 inches apart, you're going to get about 4, maybe 5 bulbs per square foot. I've got 100 bulbs, so I could get about 20, 25 square feet out of this. I didn't dig this quite enough space for 100 bulbs. I'm going to put some of them in containers, and I'll show that in a separate video later on. One thing about these types of videos where I'm showing you how to plant something like this, you're not going to see the final result in this video in the spring of them flowering, but I do have an Instagram account. It's at HortTube, and I will put photos of this type of thing up in the spring when they're in bloom, so you can take a look at how they look. And in the future, I'll talk about digging them out in the fall and dividing them and those types of things, and follow up videos. So I'm just going to lay these bulbs in place, pointy end up, always very, very important. And then I have to carefully cover them to not knock them all over the place when I get to that point, because that's an easy thing to do. It's just to start shoveling soil back in there super quick and just knocking them about, flipping them upside down, and that kind of thing. I'll have to be careful of that, but I'll show you after I get these bulbs spaced out in this trench. It may be a little hard to see detail here because a lot of the paper has come off the bulbs. Definitely leave the paper on them. Some will peel off as you're handling them. You can't really help that, but do not take the paper off of them intentionally. Any of these you see where they've fallen over like that, I'll just hold that up as I throw this soil mix back over the top of them. You can use a trowel or a shovel for this operation, but I'll just get a shovel full of loose soil and I kind of pour it in there, and then I stand the bulbs up within that, make sure they're standing, and then I kind of bury them a little bit and then make sure they're standing like that. And it's pretty quick and easy, really. I'll knock a couple over and then I kind of quickly get them straight up and down. Once I have them slightly covered like I'm doing right now, I can be more aggressive with the rest of the soil. A lot of people will fertilize their bulbs when they put them in. I never do. These bulbs have everything they need to bloom this first spring. Some people will recommend you fertilize daffodils right when you see them start to emerge. I fertilize all my trees and shrubs probably about the time the daffodils are finishing blooming, and I just include them in my fertilizing at that time. And that's all I ever do to them, and I have great success with that. And the most important thing, like I say at the end of the day, is that they're in the sun at that time of year, and they're able to access sunlight to create that energy to store for the following year. But that's pretty much it. They're in the ground. They can sleep for the next few weeks under whatever weather we're going to have, and I should be able to enjoy these for the next 3 or 4 years before it'll be time to divide them. If you were going to plant 10, 15 bulbs, that drill bit's probably definitely the way to go. If you're going to plant 100 like I just did, I tend to like the trenching method. I think I probably have, I haven't looked at a clock, I may have 45 minutes in this at this point, plus I'm talking to a camera, and this clay is particularly tough to dig in. I use that electric tiller to do about the first half of the digging. And then the shovels, I used a trenching shovel, and I used a flat shovel. The flat shovel is the easiest thing to clean the actual hole out with. The trenching shovel is great for digging, but it takes so little soil out at the time. It takes too long to get all the soil out of there, so the flat shovel worked great for that. But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna put the pine straw back over the top of it. Again, they're gonna come up in the spring, they're gonna flower. I'm gonna fertilize them after they finish flowering. I'm gonna leave the foliage in place. I'll cut the foliage off after it's completely died back. And then in 2 or 3 seasons, 4 seasons maybe, I'll probably have to come in here one fall and excavate and divide them and put them right back in place like they are today. I put a little curve on this space because there's actually a path that's going to end up going through my vegetable garden where the camera's sitting as an actual patio is going there. And yeah, you may be able to see my radishes over here. They're looking fantastic. I didn't thin them enough, but the greens are absolutely beautiful, and there are some pretty good radishes in there. So this is going to be a series of bulb videos going to happen pretty quickly. I'm going to put up a allium video right after this one goes up, flowering onions, which are amongst my favorite bulbs. So I'll go over how to do those. And then I'm going to do some snowdrops and some others after that. And then I'm about 2 weeks away from planting my tulips. My tulips and hyacinths are in the refrigerator right now. I have about 1,000 tulips. So when I get to those, I'll show you that. I'm in zone 7, so I've been having to refrigerate my tulips. Those of you who are in northern climates can, they can go in the ground anytime because you get enough cold that they don't need to be pre-chilled like what I'm doing right now. So thank you very much for watching this video, and look for the other upcoming bulb planting videos. Thanks for watching.